This is a no-show news roundup, keeping you in the know.
Something fishy in Minnesota. Tom Mead, a 72-year-old fisherman, tried to defraud the Park Rapids American Legion Community Fishing Derby, held at Fish Hook Lake. Before the competition, Tom snuck a couple of fish from another lake onto his boat to win a $10,000 Ice Castle fish house. Quote, "What can I say? I got caught," he reportedly told the police officer. "God told me not to do it, but I did it anyway." A judge sentenced Mead to 1 week in prison after he pled guilty to 1 count of theft by swindle. Back in February, Mead was escorted off the ice by Hubbard County, Minnesota police as the crowd shouted, "Cheater! Cheater!" He's lost hunting and fishing privileges for 2 years, and he's banned from entering any fishing contests for 4. As one writer said, that's what he gets for angling for trouble. Just goes to show, if God tells you not to do something, don't. Thanks to John Hemmings and Jay Busby. Despite widespread outrage, a dog meat festival in China went ahead as planned this week. The festival, which kicked off Friday, is an annual celebration that takes place in the city of Yulin. According to The Guardian, the event is considered an ancient summer solstice tradition by local residents. They are said to, quote, cherish their city's dog meat culture, which involves the mass consumption of dog meat, served with strong grain liquor. Animal rights groups insist the festival is cruel, saying more than 10,000 dogs are kept in inhumane conditions. Many are burned, electrocuted, or skinned alive. We've seen animals beaten just before being cooked, says Du Yufang, founder of a Chinese animal rights group. Quote, "The more we inspect, the more cruelty we discover." Throughout the past few years, activists like Du have tried to block the festival, appealing to the people and governments of China and the U.S., among others. Some Chinese netizens have also taken to social networking sites to expose what goes on at the event. In spite of widespread criticism, the festival has continued to take place annually. Du says, however, the Chinese government, in response to pressure from, quote, online activism, will be sending a team to monitor the event this year. The South Chinese Morning Post reports that, quote, some aren't too pleased with the bad press the city's been getting. Quote, "It's unfair to call the people of Yulin brutal just because we have a tradition to eat dog meat. People who call us uncivilized and cruel should stop eating meat first." A local resident, Annie, told the Chinese Daily, "This isn't the first time a dog meat festival has been slammed by animal lovers. In 2011, 2 such events, one in South Korea and the other in China, were canceled in the wake of animal rights protests." Thanks to HuffPost, Washington, D.C. began registering all its dogs this year by their primary breeds and, faced with many owners who claimed not to know their dog's heritage, quixotically settled on the Mexican hairless dog, Xoloitzcuintli, as the breed that will be listed in the city records for those dogs. An official said the decision might encourage owners to learn more about their dog's breed. Nice to be organized. Thanks to Chuck Shepard. And this show has certainly gone to the dogs. Wally, a 4-year-old Beagle Boxer Basset Hound mix, is officially the world's ugliest dog. That, according to the 25th annual World's Ugliest Dog Contest. Actually, he looks kind of cute. The final was held in California at the Sonoma Marin Fair. Wally, a last-minute entrant, impressed the judges with his huge head, his thick stature, his humped back, and his duck-like waddle. Quote, "This dog looked like he'd been photoshopped from various dogs and maybe a few other animals," said cruel Judge Brian Sobel, whose main reference for real life appears to be his computer screen. Wally's owner, Tammy Barbie, said she acquired Wally when he was 3 months old. Quote, "People would come up to me and say that dog is not right," Barbie told Associated Press. "But I love him," she said. "Pay no attention to judgmental conformist, Wally. You're winning." Thanks to IB Times. And in science news, trains that clip to planes. It may sound strange, but it's a real concept that went on display at an aerospace show in Paris recently. Clip Air has been touted by its developers as the future of intermodal travel. Passengers could board a train in London and arrive in New York without leaving their seats. Train capsules would travel directly to the airport from city center railway stations, where they would latch to the underside of a specially equipped plane. The concept could also be applied to the transportation of freight, and its developers say that Clip Air's fuel consumption would be lower than that of conventional aircraft. Just suck it up and fly, thanks to Global Rail News. And finally, take a moment. Like thousands who did yoga in Times Square, Mind Over Madness was an event that took place last week. The hustle and bustle came to a standstill as yoga enthusiasts took over the square to celebrate the longest day of the calendar year. Mind Over Madness included free yoga classes all day. Now in its 11th year, the event registered 15,000 people. Co-founder of the event, Tim Tompkins, says it's all about finding stillness and calm in the middle of the hubbub. Hey, 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 namaste. Thanks to the Telegraph. Thanks for listening. A. Smith Harrison reporting. 'Cause everything old is the new